welcome back to another episode of Murph Reads. And I'm Murph. I read to you guys. We are reading The Bastard of Istanbul. We finished our first chapter. Woohoo! Yay, finally. And now we're gonna get into our second chapter today, which is named Garbanzo Beans. Garbanzo Beans. Supermarkets are perilous places filled with traps for the discontent and the dazzled. Or so thought Rose as she headed to the aisle of diaper refills. Who is Rose? Why did we right away jump to another person? I don't know who Rose is. I don't know why we're starting the chapter 2 with Rose. I wanted to know more about what happened with our girl Zaleha. Or so thought Rose as she headed to the aisle of diaper refills, this time determined not to purchase anything other than what she really needed. Besides, this was not the right moment to putter around, having left her little girl inside the car. In the parking lot, she now felt ill at ease. Sometimes she did things she instantly regretted, but could not possibly take back. And if truth be told, such incidents had multiplied alarmingly over the last few months. 3.5 months to be exact. 3.5 months of hell on earth she resisted, fought over, cried about, refused to accept, begged not to, and finally yielded to her marriage coming to an end. Matrimony might be fleeting folly that tricked you into believing that it would be forever, but it was harder to appreciate the humor when you were not the one who ended it. The fact that marriage had to tarry before it irretrievably lapsed gave the false impression that there was still hope, until you understood it was not hope for the better that you were living for, but hope that the suffering finally would end for both so that each could go his or her own way. And go her own way was precisely what Rose had decided to do from now on. If all this was tantamount to some sort of tunnel of anguish God was compelling her to crawl through, she would emerge from it no longer recognizable as that weak woman she once has been. As a sign of her resoluteness, Rose tried to force a chuckle, but it didn't make it past her throat. Instead, she sighed, a sigh that sounded more troubled than intended, only because she had reached an aisle she'd rather not visit. Sweets and chocolate bars, as she scuttled by the carb watchers. Gourmet sugar-free vanilla cream-flavored dark chocolate. She halted abruptly. She got herself 1, 2, 5 bars. Not that she was carb watching, but she liked the sound of it. Or something. Anything. After being repeatedly accused of being a slipshod wife and a terrible mother, Rose was eager to prove the contrary in any way she could. In a flash, she swerved the cart, but found herself in another aisle of junk food. Where the hell were the diapers? Her eyes caught sight of a pile of toasted coconut marshmallows. That sounds so good. I'd love some toasted coconut marshmallows right now. Pile of toasted coconut marshmallows, and the next thing she knew, there were 1, 2, 6 packages in the cart. Same Rose. Me too. Don't, Rose. Don't. Just this afternoon, you've gobbled a whole quart of cherry Garcia ice cream. You've already gained so much weight. If this was an inner warning, it didn't come through loud noise. Nevertheless, it activated a guilt button somewhere in Rose's subconscious, and a picture of herself popped up in her mind. For a fleeting second, she stood staring at her reflection in an imaginary mirror, although she had so deftly avoided the real mirror behind the organic baby lettuce. Ouch, ouch, ouch. The ears was such a trustworthy part of human body. No matter how much weight you gained, your ears remain exactly the same, always loyal. Wait, I have never thought of it like this. Wait, that's true. No matter how much weight I gain, I that's why she's saying ear is such a like so beautiful kind of like she loves her ears for that reason cuz like yeah, wait. Oh my god, I love my ears too. Yeah, they never gain weight. They're so loyal. Rose, girl, hold on. I need to drink something. Rose, you're onto something. Rose, I that makes sense. You know what, girl? Clock it. Clock it. Clock it. Yeah, you're onto something. Okay. No matter how much weight you gained, your ears remained exactly the same, always loyal. Unfortunately, that was not the case with the rest of the human body. Rose's physical form was anything but loyal. Oh, me too, Rose. I literally today went to the gym. I've been working out so much. I was like, you know what? Let's skip it. We just chill. Let's just skip it. Let me just stay home. Then I literally caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror and I was like, this doesn't look good. Let's go to the gym. That just a glimpse was enough to send me rocketing to the gym. I understand you, Rose. Girl, you and me. You and me, girl. The same. Unfortunately, that was not the case with the rest of human body. Rose's physical form was anything but loyal, so volatile was her body she could not even classify it the way Healthy Living magazine categorized the body types of their female readers. If she belonged to the pear-shaped group, for instance, she would have wider hips than shoulder. If apple-shaped, she would be prone to gain weight in stomach and chest, having the qualities of both pear and apples. Rose didn't quite know what category to fit in unless there was another group left unmentioned. The mango shaped. Oh my god. Thick all over and thicker in the bottom. Oh my god. Oh my god. What? Miss Alicia, why are we roast? I feel like that. I feel like I'm a mango shaped person. I kid you not. I do not. I cannot fit into any of those um body shape categories either. Like I'm always so confused. Girl, what the hell? She thought to herself. She would shed the extra pounds. Not that this hell of a divorce season was over, she was going to become a new woman. Definitely, she thought. Definitely was the word Rose used in lieu of yes. Instead of no, she used definitely not. Wooed at the thought of surprising her ex husband and his large extended family with the new woman she would soon become. Rose scanned the aisle. Her hands reached out. Oh no, Rose, 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 girl, sweetie. Her hands reached out to sweets and toffees, sweet and low sugar free butter toffee, starburst fruit chews, black licorice twist, and as soon as she had tossed these into the cart, she hurried as if running from someone chasing her. But surrendering to her sweet tooth must have had a triggering effect on her guilty conscience. Because in the next to no time, she was struggling with a deeper sense of remorse. How could she have left her baby girl inside the car all alone? Oh my god. She's so caught up with sweets, she forgot her daughter in the car. And because she mentioned because like she's looking for diapers, so that's like a little baby. But hey, anywho, I'm not the one to shame her. I'm not shaming. I'm not shaming. Every day you heard on KBOA about a toddler abducted in the front of her home or a mother charged with reckless endangerment. Last week, a Tuscan woman had set her house on fire and almost killed her two kids sleeping inside. Bro, that's crazy. If anything close to that ever happened to her, thought Rose, her mother-in-law would be thrilled. Shushan, the omnipotent matriarch, would instantly file a suit, for the custody of her granddaughter. Immersed in this grim scenario, Rose couldn't help shuddering. It was true, she had been slightly off recently, forgetting things that were second nature, but nobody, not a single soul in his right mind could justly accuse her of being a bad mother. Definitely not. She was going to prove that both to her ex-husband and to that mammoth Armenian family of his. Oh my god, the Ross are crazy. The Ross are insane. Crazy mammoth family. This is gonna be my new kind of like slur. I'm gonna call everyone a mammoth from now on. I'll literally be like, you crazy, that crazy mammoth family of yours. That's crazy. I love this. Her ex-husband's family was from another country where people bore a surname she couldn't spell and secrets she couldn't decipher. Rose had always felt like an outsider there, always aware of being an Odar. This gluey word that had stuck on her from the very first day. How terrible it was to still be mentally and emotionally attached to someone from whom you have been physically separated. When the dust had settled out of that 1 year and 8 months of marriage, all that was left for Rose was pure resentment and a baby. Rose, I feel horrible for you, but if you are getting married to someone who makes you feel like an outsider, um, right off the bat, maybe don't marry them. Sorry, thank you. That's all I had to say. This is all I am left with, Rose muttered to herself. That indeed was the most common side effect of postmarital chronic bitterness. Okay, Rose, my girl, you just got divorced. I think everyone would be sympathizing with her because it's not like she's a careless mother or she's horrible or anything and everything. I just feel like she's just someone that's going through so many emotions. So, I don't know, I don't think she should be blamed, bro. That's all it is. I feel so bad for her. Poor Rose. But who is Rose? Who the fuck is Rose? Can we get back to Zaleha? Get Zaleha back, please. First of all, about the Bastard of Istanbul, I have not read, like the back of the, like, I have no idea. I'm going in this book all blind. Like, I got no clue. That's why I'm so confused. I did not read the preview. What do you say? The monologue? I don't prologue. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Prologue. I think. Anyway, I'm going in this book blind. So, girl, you and me, we're both having the same reaction together. That indeed was most common side effect of a post-marital chronic bitterness. It made you talk to yourself. No matter how much dialogue you imagined, you were never out of words. Over the past weeks, Rose had repeatedly argued in her imagination with each and every member of the Tichakmakchian family, defending herself with determination, winning every time, fluently articulating all the things she had failed to voice during the divorce and had been lamenting ever since. There they were, latex free, super absorbent diapers. As she placed them in the cart, she noticed a middle aged man with graying hair, damn, and a goatee smiling at her. Okay, let's picture this together. A middle aged man. So he's like 45? And she said he has a goatee. Girl, and with goatee, ooh la la. That's okay. And he has like graying hair. Girl, you know what? I love gray hair. And he has a grin. Who is this guy? Wait, what? Middle-aged man with graying hair and a goatee smiling at her. Girl, you just got divorced. You have an affair going on? Girl, what's going on? The truth is, Rose liked to have her motherhood observed, and now that she had an audience, she couldn't help but break into a grin. Happily, she reached up to get a huge box of lightly scented wipes with aloe vera and vitamin E. Thank God some people appreciated her motherhood. Are they appreciating your motherhood or this guy into you or something? Piloted by her yearning for further recognition, she walked up and down the aisle of baby products, each time finding something she had no intention. You is a attention seeker. Girl, you each time finding something she mind you, wait, this woman has her child waiting in the car while she's doing all of this? Her child is in the car. Is she mental? Of purchasing earlier, but now saw no reason why not to. 3 bottles of antibacterial diaper rash lotion, a baby bat safety ducky that warned when the water in the tub was too hot, a set of 6 plastic door guards to protect little fingers, a Max the Monkey car litter bag, and a water-filled freezable chewy butterfly teether. Aww. She put them all in the cart. Who could possibly call her an irresponsible mom? How could they accuse her of paying no heed to her baby girl's need? Oh, that rhymed. Had she not given up her college education when the baby was born? Had she not been working hard to sustain this marriage every now and then? Rose liked to imagine her best self still going to college, still a virgin, and yes, still slim. Recently, she had found a job at the university cafeteria, which might help the first dream to come true, though it wouldn't help the other two. What, to get skinny and virgin? Oh, yeah, that's kind of true. Okay. I mean, yeah, she can get skinny. Virgin. If she if she has amnesia, she will technically be a virgin again. Because she doesn't remember, and because she doesn't remember, it didn't happen to her. Yeah! Does that make sense? Recently, she had found a job at the university. As she stepped into the next aisle, Rosa's face contorted. International food. She stole a nervous glance at the jars of eggplant dips and cans of salted grape leaves. No more patlijan, no more sarmas, no more weird ethnic food. What? What? Okay, Rose, I don't like her. Like, I get it, you're white, but like, ethnic food is delicious. Like, wait, let me see if like all of these are similar to what we eat. She says sarmas. Is sarmas like organa? Oh my god, yes it is. What's patlishan? Brother. My brother in Christ, what are you talking about? Like, this is all real good food. What? Okay, I don't like this Rose person. No more weird ethnic food is what she says. No more weird ethnic food. Even the sight of that hideous shawarma. What? What did shawarma do to her? Shawarma. Let me see what shawarma looks like. Bro, no, no way, no way, no way. No way. She's mad at shawarma for what? Even the sight of that hideous shawarma twisted her stomach into knots. From now on, she could eat whatever she wants. She would cook real Kentucky dishes for her daughter. For one long minute, Rose stood there, racking her brain to find the example of the perfect meal. Her face perked up as she thought of hamburgers. Definitely. She assured herself, what's more? Fried eggs and maple syrup soaked pancakes and hot dogs with onions and mutton barbecue? Yes, especially mutton barbecue. And instead of that squelchy yogurt drink, oh my god, what do you mean squelchy yogurt? I don't know. The Arab in me is not really enjoying what she's saying because, like, all of this, and like the South Asian in me, why? Why? All of this is so good. This is like soul food. What? Bro, I'm getting triggered. I'm getting hella triggered. What? Um, Instead of that squelchy yogurt drink that she was sick of seeing at every meal. Oh, it's so good though. They would drink apple cider. She wants to drink apple cider over the yogurt? What? From now on, she would choose their daily menu. From southern cuisine, hot spicy chili, or smoked bacon, or garbanzo beans. She would serve these dishes without complaining. All she needed was a man who would sit across from her at the end of the day, a man who would truly love her and her cooking. Definitely, that was what Rose needed, a lover with no ethnic language. Oh my god, is she racist, guys? This kind of sounds racist, doesn't it? What? Is this racist? I don't know. Like her, like shitting on like ethnic language to me is kind of, I don't know. Maybe it's a preference. Would this fall into I don't know. I don't know. Definitely that was what Rose needed. A lover with no ethnic language, no hard to pronounce names, and no crowded family. Oh wow, a fresh new lover who would appreciate garbanzo beans. There was a time when she and Bursam had loved each other, a time when Bursam did not even notice and certainly did not mind whatever food she placed on the table, for his gaze would be elsewhere, locked onto hers, immersed in love. Rose's cheeks warmed at the recollection of these brilliant moments, but instantly chilled as she remembered the very next face. Alas, in next to no time, that horrendous family of his had entered onto the stage only to dominate it forever and ever. Since then, their affection for each other had worn thin. If that Chakmakchian gang had not poked their equine noses into her marriage, Rose thought her husband would still be by her side. Why did you constantly snoop into our marriage? She asked Shushan, whom she now imagined sitting in her armchair, counting the stitches in her knitting, making yet another baby blanket for her granddaughter. But her mother in law did not respond. Frustrated, Rose repeated the question. That indeed was the second most common side effect of post-marital chronic resentment. It made you not only talk to yourself, but also made you obstinate with others. Even if you might be dangerously close to a breaking point, you would never bend. Why didn't you ever leave us alone? Rose posed the same question one by one to her husband's three sisters, Auntie Serpent, Auntie Saruhi, and Auntie Varsanik, while she glared at the jars of baba ganoush on the grocery shelves. Rose left the ethnic food sections, making a sharp, swift U-turn into the next aisle. Inspired by her anger and melancholy, she moved down to the aisle of canned food and dry beans, from one end to the other, almost bumping into a young man standing there. He was eyeing the shelf where different brands of garbanzo beans were lined up. That guy surely wasn't there a second ago, thought Rose. He seemed to have simply materialized as if zoomed down from the sky. He had fair skin, a slim, well proportioned body, hazel eyes, and a pointed nose, which made him look attentive and studious. His sable hair was short. Rose suspected that she had seen him before, but where and when she couldn't remember. They are good, aren't they? Rose asked. Unfortunately, not everyone is sensible enough to appreciate them. Yanked out of his Isn't her child still in the car? Because I'm pretty sure she probably has been at the store for over an hour now, and she probably had that realization over 30 minutes ago. Rose, my girl, Rose, your baby's in the car. What? What? Yanked out of his meditation, the young man flinched, turned towards the rosy faced, plumpish woman who had mushroomed by his side, and still clutching in each hand a can of garbanzo beans, blushed. Having been caught by surprise, he could not easily get his masculine guard back. I'm sorry, he said, and tilted his head to the right, a nervous take, which Rose interpreted as a sign of shyness. She smiled to show the young man that she pardoned him, and then looked at his face without so much as a blink, making him even more nervous. Beside the suave, bunny expression that she now wore, Rose had three other animal like looks inspired by Mother Nature. She interchangeably employed for all her dealings with the opposite sex. Her staunch canine expression, one that she chose when she wanted to convey complete dedication. Her impish feline expression, which she used when she wanted to seduce. And her pugnacious coyote expression, which she wore whenever she was criticized. Oh, I know you! All of a sudden, Rose beamed an ear to ear grin, satisfied with her memory. I was racking my brain wondering where I've seen you before. Now I know you're from the U of A, right? I'll bet you like chicken quesadillas. The young man glanced up the aisle as if he were considering running away at any moment, but couldn't figure out toward which direction. I work part time at the Cactus Grill. Rose tried her best to help him comprehend. The big restaurant? On girl, Rose girl, get up. Girl, get up. Girl, get up. Girl, this is awkward. Leave the poor guy alone. He can't. If he can't remember you, and he might, if there is any chance that he might have seen you around and he can't remember you and you remember him, mm, awkward. The big restaurant on the second floor inside the student union, remember? I'm usually behind the counter where the hot food is served. Die. What? Die. Oh no. Where the hot food is served. You know, omelets and quesadillas. It's a part-time job, of course. It doesn't pay much, but what are you gonna do? This is just for time being. What I really want is to become a primary school teacher. Oh my god, this girl is like dumping her life story to a guy that just wants to buy some beads. Girl, girl, wrap it up, wrap it up, wrap it up. The young man was now quizzically studying Rose's face, as if to memorize every detail for the future reference. Oh no. Anyway, that is where I must have seen you before, Rose concluded. Oh my god. She narrowed her eyes and moistened her bottom lip. Switching to her feline expression, I dropped out when I had a baby last year, but now I'm trying to go back to college. Oh, really? The guy said, but then instantly shut his mouth. If Rose had any previous experience with foreigners, she would have detected the foreigner's introduction reflex, the fear of engaging in conversation and not expressing the right words at the right time or with the correct pronunciation. However, ever since she was a teenager, Rose harbored a propensity to assume everything around her was either for or about or against her accordingly. She interpreted the silence as a sign of her own inability to make a decent introduction. To compensate for the error, she reached out her hand. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Rose. Mustafa. The young man swallowed his Adam's apple, moving up and down. Wait! Okay, now we know what this is about! Okay. Is it Mustafa, Zaleha's brother? From, from Istanbul! Remember, we were just. Zaleha! Rose asked. Istanbul, he answered curtly. Rose raised her eyebrows and a trace of panic crossed her face. If Mustafa had any experience with provincials, he could detect the provincials' information reflects the fear of not having enough knowledge of geography or world history. Rose was trying to recall where on earth Istanbul was. Was it capital of Egypt or perhaps somewhere in India? She frowned in confusion. However, ever since he was a teenager, Mustafa harbored a fright of losing his grip on time and his appeal for women, so he interpreted the gesture as sign of having bored Rose by failing to come up with anything interesting to say. And okay, so is he into her? Cause like my girl Rose here has her child in the car, doesn't care. She's like striking up a conversation with Mustafa, and then she's like, oh no, I probably like scared him or something. Let me introduce myself properly. And then he is he into her? Cause he's like, oh, it's simple. But then he's like, oh no, I probably bored her. Let me say something. Is this a love story? So he interpreted the gesture as a sign of having bored Rose by failing to come up with anything interesting to say, and to compensate for the lack, he hastened to cut off the conversation. Nice meeting you, Rose, he said, drawling his vowels with a mellow but obvious accent. I have to go now. I just found out about his accent, guys. Come on now. Very quickly, he put back both cans of garbanzo beans, stared at his watch, grabbed his basket, and walked off. Before he disappeared, Rose heard him mumble, bye bye. And then, as if echoing himself another bye bye, then he was gone. Having thus lost this mysterious companion, Rose suddenly realized how much time, yes, finally, how much time she had squandered in the supermarket. She grabbed a few cans of garbanzo beans, including the ones Mustafa had left behind, and hurried to check out. She passed through the aisle of journals and books, and it was there that she caught sight of something she sorely needed, the Great World Atlas. Girl, your child? Your child? Your child is literally in the car waiting for you. And moment of silence. A world atlas of flags, facts, and maps helping parents, students, teachers, and travelers worldwide. She grabbed the book, pointed Istanbul in the index, and once having found the relevant page, looked at the map to see where it was. Outside in the parking lot, she found the ultramarine 1984 Jeep Cherokee heating up under the Arizona sun while her baby girl is sleeping. Did she at least leave the god? Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? Okay. Outside in I just read something. I just read she didn't open her eyes. Wait, what? Oh my god, my heart literally just dropped. What the hell? Cherokee heating up under the Arizona sun while her baby girl slept inside. Armanush, wake up, sweetheart. Mama's back. The baby moved. Okay. The baby moved. Okay. She's alive. The baby moved, but did not open her eyes, not even when Rose rained kisses all over her face. Her soft brown hair was tied with a golden ribbon, almost as big as her head. Aww, and she was wearing a fluffy green outfit adorned with salmon stripes and purplish buttons. She looked like a dwarf. Christmas tree decorate. Oh, she looked like a dwarf Christmas tree decorated by someone in a state of frenzy. Oh, she's emphasizing. Oh my. Are you hungry? Mama is gonna cook you real American food tonight, Rose exclaimed as she put the plastic bags in the back seat, reserving a package of coconut marshmallows for the road. She checked her hair in rearview mirror, put on a cassette that was her favorite these days, and grabbed a handful of marshmallows before she started the engine. Did you know that the guy I've just met in the supermarket is from Turkey? Rose said, as she winked at her daughter in the rearview mirror. Everything about her baby seemed just about right. Her button nose, her round hands, her feet, everything except her name. Her husband's family had wanted to name the baby girl after her grandmother's mother, Armanouche. Armanouche is not a bad name. Armanouche. Armanouche. I like that name, girl. What did you want to name her? Victoria? Her husband's family had wanted to name the baby girl after her grandmother's mother. How deeply Rose lamented not having named her something less outlandish, like Annie or Katie or Cindy. What? Hating on the name Armanouche? Because you want to name your daughter Cindy? Girl, this is crazy. Armanouche sounds so good to me. Armanouche, Armanouche. Aww. Instead of accepting the name her mother-in-law had come up with, a child was supposed to have a childlike name, and Armanouche was anything but that. The name sounded so mature and cold, appropriate for a grown-up perhaps. Did Rose have to wait until her baby girl had reached 40 to use her name without it pricking her tongue? Rose rolled her eyes and ate another marshmallow. Then and there she had a revelation. She could call her daughter Amy from now on, and as a part of the baptism ceremony, she sent the baby a kiss. At the next intersection, they waited for the light to turn green. Rose drummed on the steering wheel, accompanying Gloria Estefan. No modern love for me, it's all a hassle. What's done is done, now it's my turn to have fun. Mustafa placed the few items he had selected in the front of the cashier. Kalamata olives, frozen spinach, and feta cheese, a can of mushroom soup, a can of cream of chicken soup, and a can of chicken noodle soup. Until he came to the United States, he had never had to cook in his life. Every time he labored in the small kitchen in his two-bedroom student apartment, he felt like a dethroned king living in exile. Yeah, that's a very ethnic boy thing. Long gone were the days where he was served and fed by a devoted grandmother, mother, and four sisters. Now dishwashing, room cleaning, ironing, and especially shopping were a huge burden for him. It wouldn't be as difficult if he could only rid himself of the feeling that someone else should be doing these things for him. He was no more used to doing chores than he was to being alone. Mustafa had a housemate, an undergrad student from Indonesia who spoke very little, worked hard, and listened to odd tapes, such as sounds of mountain streams or songs of the whales. In order to go to sleep every night, Mustafa had hoped that if he had a housemate, he would feel less lonely in Arizona, but the result had been quite the opposite. At night, alone in his bed and thousands of miles away from his family, he couldn't fight back the voices inside his head, voices that questioned and blamed him for who he was. He slept poorly. He spent many nights watching old comedies or surfing on the internet. It helped. Wait, I thought they talked about cassettes. There's internet? It helped. The thought stopped at those times, yet they would return with daylight. Walking from home to campus between classes or during lunchtime, Mustafa would catch himself thinking about Istanbul. He wished he could remove his memory, restart the program until all the files were deleted and gone. Arizona was to have spared Mustafa the bad omen that fell upon every man in the Kazansi family, but he didn't believe in such things. Drifting away from all those superstitious evil eye beads, coffee cup readings, and fortune telling ceremonies in his family was less a conscious choice than an involuntary reflex. He thought they were all part of a dark and complicated world peculiar to women. Women? were a mystery anyway. Having grown up with so many women, it was odd that he felt so estranged from them all of his life. Mustafa had grown up as the only boy in the family, where the men died too soon and too unexpectedly. He experienced growing sexual desires while surrounded by sisters who were taboo to a fantasy life. Nevertheless, he slipped into unspeakable thoughts about women. At first, Mustafa fell for girls who rejected him, terrified that he would be rejected, ridiculed, and reviled. He turned to yearning for the female body from a distance. This year, he had looked angrily at the photos of top models in glossy American magazines, as if to absorb the excruciating fact that no woman this perfect would ever desire him. Mustafa would never forget the fierce look on Zuleha's face when she called him a precious phallus. The embarrassment of the moment still burned through him today. He knew Zuleha could see behind his forced masculinity to the real story of his upbringing. She recognized that he had been pampered and spoon fed by an oppressed mother, intimidated and beaten by an oppressive father. In the end, you have become both narcissistic and insecure, she had said. Could things have been different between Saleha and him? Why did he feel so rejected and unloved with so many sisters around and a doting mother by his side? Saleha always mocked Mustafa, and his mother always admired him. He wanted to be just an ordinary man, good and fallible at the same time. All he needed was compassion, a chance to be a better person. If only he had a woman who loved him, everything would be different. Mustafa knew he had to make it in America, not because he wanted to attain a better future, but because he had to dispose of his past. How you doing? That was one thing Mustafa still had not gotten used to. In America, everyone asked everyone how they were doing, even complete strangers. He understood that it was a way of greeting more than a real question, but then he didn't know how to greet back with the same graceless ease. I'm fine, thank you, he said. How are you? The girl smiled. Where are you from? One day Mustafa thought, I will speak in such a way that no one will ask this rude question because they will not believe even for a minute that they are talking to a foreigner. He picked up his plastic bag and walked outside. A Mexican American couple crossed the sidewalk, she pushing a baby in the stroller, he holding the hand of a toddler. They walked unhurriedly, while Rose watched them with envy. Now that her marriage was over, every couple she saw seemed blissfully content. You know what? I wish your grandma, the witch, could have seen me flirting with that Turk. Rose, what? Rose, what? Rose, what? Can you imagine her horror? I cannot think of a worse nightmare for the proud Tchekmakchian family. Proud and puffed up. Proud and Rose didn't finish her sentence because she was distracted by the most puckish thought. The light turned green. The cars were lined up in front of her, lurched forward, and the man behind honked, but Rose remained motionless. The fantasy was so delicious, she could not move. Her mind wallowed in many images, while her eyes beamed a ray of pure rage at an oblique angle. That indeed was the third most common side effect of postmarital chronic resentment. It not only made you talk to yourself and be obstinate with others, but it also made you quite irrational. Once a woman felt justifiable resentment, the world turned upside down, and unreason appeared perfectly reasonable. Oh, sweet vengeance! Recovery was a long-term plan, an investment that paid off over time, but retaliation was quick to act. Rose's first instinct was to do something, anything, to exasperate her ex mother in law. And there existed on the surface of the earth only one thing that could annoy the women of the Chakmakchian family even more than an odor, a Turk. How interesting it would be to flirt with her ex-husband's arch enemy. But where would you find a Turkish man in the midst of Arizona desert? They didn't grow on cacti, did they? Rose chuckled as her facial expression changed from recognition to one of the intense gratitude. What a lovely coincidence that fortune had just introduced her to a Turk. Or was it not a coincidence? Singing along with the song, Rose moved forward, but instead of going straight on her route, she veered to the left, made a full U-turn, and once in the other lane sped in the opposite direction. Primitive love. I want what it used to be. In the next to no time, the Ultramarine 1984 Jeep Cherokee had reached Fry's supermarket parking lot. I don't have to think right now. You've got me at the brink. This is a goodbye for all the times I cried. The car moved in semicircle, then maneuvered crosswise, thus reaching the main exit of the supermarket. Just when Rose was about to lose any hope of finding the young man, she spotted him patiently waiting at the bus stop with a flimsy plastic bag next to him. What? Girl, girl, that's a full-blown stalker. Wait, what the hell? Is she what's going on? Why? Why? She could have just met him at U of A all over again. Hey Mustafa! Rose yelled, cocking her head from the half-open window. Wanna ride? Sure, thanks. Mustafa nodded and made a frail attempt to correct her pronunciation. It's Mustafa. Inside the car, Rose smiled. Mustafa, meet my daughter, Armanush. But I call her Amy. Amy, this is Mustafa. Mustafa, this is Amy. While the young man beamed at the sleepy baby, Rose studied his face for sign of recognition but couldn't find any, so she decided to give him another hint, this time a more revealing one. My daughter's full name is Amy Techakmakchian. If the words had inspired any negative recognition, Mustafa's face didn't show, so Rose felt the need to repeat, just in case it hadn't been understood the first time. Armanush Tachak Makchian. It was only then the young man's hazel eyes flickered, though not exactly in the way Rose had anticipated. Chakmakchian. Chakmakchi. Hey, that sounds like Turkish, he exclaimed. Cause it's not tak chakmakchian, I guess it's Tachakmakchian. Tachakmakchian makes more sense than Tachakmakchian. Okay, that makes sense. Tachakmakchian is the name. Hey, that sounds like Turkish, he exclaimed happily. Well, as a matter of fact, it's Armenian, Rose said. Suddenly she felt insecure. Her father, I mean, my ex-husband, she swallowed hard, as if trying to get rid of the sour taste. He's Armenian. Oh yeah? He said nonchalantly. He didn't get it, did he? Rose wondered to herself as she chewed the inside of her mouth. Then, as if breathing out a suppressed hiccup long welling up in her throat, she let out a whoop of laughter. But he is cute, very cute. He will be my sweet vengeance, she thought. Listen, Rose said, I don't know if you like Mexican art, but there is a group exhibition opening tomorrow night. If you don't have any other plans, we could go to it and grab a bite afterwards. Mexican art, Mustafa paused. People who have seen it elsewhere say it's really good, Rose said. So, what do you say? Would you like to come with me? Mexican art, Mustafa echoed with confidence. Sure, why not? Awesome! Rose cheered up. It's so nice to meet you, Mustafa, she said, distorting his name again. But this time, Mustafa felt no need to correct her. And that's the end of chapter 2, Garbanzo Bean. Oh my god, I'm kind of so happy for Mustafa to find someone because, like, he felt horrible. Apparently, the stuff that Zuleha said to him did make him feel a lot of ways. I don't know, like, reading chapter 1, I thought Mustafa did not care about what anyone said about him. He was a stuck up, but it seems like, oh, he's going through his own little thing. And he met someone. Rose, on the other hand, desperation. It's giving desperation, my girl. What's going on, Rose? But hey, this is kind of cute. But I feel like Rose is like, I don't know, the way she's like talking about like ethnic people, and she's just trying to make her this is not coming from a, oh, I actually like this guy. It's more coming off as, I want to get back at my mother-in-law and my ex-husband and yada yada yada. Like, she does not seem, she's she's so like busy trying to like come off a certain way. Because, like, when she was in the grocery store, yes, she was going through her own feeling, but she didn't think about her child once. And when she did think about her child, she more so thought about it as, oh, I'm gonna look like a bad mother. I don't want to look like a bad mother. That's it. And then she forgot about her child all over again. I don't know, maybe I'm being too rough on her. She is just going through a divorce. Maybe I should chill the fuck out. But I don't know, just she seems very like selfish to me. She does. I'm excited to get back to Zaleha's storyline. Like, I want my girl back. I love Zaleha. I just wanna know what's up with Zaleha right now. That's all. That's all. And that's the end of our chapter 2. And chapter 3 is called Sugar. I hope it's gonna be Zaleha. We'll read together. Um I don't know. That's all I have for you guys today. Please leave a comment. Tell me. Don't wait. Can you guys please tell me what you think about this chapter? What do you guys think of Rose? What do you guys think of Mustafa? I'm kind of happy for Mustafa. I hope he lives on. Like, dude, this is sad, but please tell me in the comments what do you think, and if you guys like the video, please give it a like and subscribe if that's what you want to do. I would really 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 appreciate it. This is my new setup. Do you like it? Do you love it? I feel like now I'm all set. I'm happy now. We won't be moving anywhere anymore, so welcome guys. I hope you finished your tea, and bye. See you in the next one.